Welcome back to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. On today's show, we are very pleased to be joined by Paulina Medina and Alex Carrillo Romano. I am going to read their bios and then we'll get to the show. Paulina is an architect from the National Technological Institute of Mexico and holds a master's degree in lighting design from Aalborg University in Denmark. She has over 10 years of experience collaborating on hospitality, residential, urban, and industrial projects in Mexico, the United States, and Europe. She is the co-founder of Wawa Lighting, an architectural lighting design firm. Committed to education, she actively participates in courses, diploma programs, master's programs, and workshops where she seeks to share knowledge about the culture of light and dark skies. Alex Carrillo Romano is an architect and lighting design from the Polytechnic University of Catalonia. With extensive experience in lighting design, mainly in the industrial and commercial sectors, he has collaborated on multiple projects to achieve green certifications, such as LEED. He is a university lecturer, teaching lighting courses in the architecture program. Passionate about sharing knowledge, he has conducted various workshops where light is the medium for expressing ideas. Co-founded Wawa Lighting. I didn't know you two were married. Now we're getting complicated. Okay. Let's go to wawalighting.lighting. That's WAWA.lighting. But Greg, first and foremost, I think we need to get a grip on grip lock systems, buddy. Go to GRIPLOCKSYSTEMS.com.
You did it. That's right. And hey, get rid of those chains. I still see a lot of people use chain to hang things. You don't never do a chain. Grip lock systems, where it stops, it locks. And what that is their cable gripper, a unique self-locking, completely adjustable device. It securely locks a long range of aircraft cables and no tools, up or down or up as often as you like. Easy.
Jack chain is for losers. Go to griplocksystems.com. That's GRIPLOCKSYSTEMS.com, Greg Eric. And of course, the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. I think when this goes out, our convention will still be coming up, Greg. August 19th through 21st in St. Paul, Minnesota. That's where all the cool kids are going to be right now. We got Paulina and Alex. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
For having us.
It's good to have you. I think you might be our first representatives from Mexico, maybe, Mike. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't
Nice.
always know. Yeah, nice to have you. Yeah, what we're looking to talk about. But when I look on your website right there, it says "Get a Grip on Lighting" in Spanish, right at the top. What's that all about?
Oh my, you found it.
I did.
Yeah, so maybe I'll start, Pao, if you're okay with it.
Sure.
Yeah, so when we started looking to participate in the Get and Grip on Lighting podcast, we had like this idea, like, why you don't bring this to the Spanish too? So having some trails of emails with you guys, we were like kind of discussing this. So I pasted like the name in Spanish in our website, just like just to see how it looks. You will see that it still does not send you to anywhere. It's like an empty link, but we are still thinking what we can do with that. Am I in trouble here?
No, not at all. I love it. Yeah.
I'd love to see Get a Grip on Lighting on Español. We'd have to talk about, how that would work. But, and we talked about a little bit about the Spanish version of Get a Grip, as you said, and how it doesn't sound as good. So you would just go Get a Grip on Lighting on Español. But yeah, we would definitely explore a Spanish language partnership. Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's great. Is the audience there? Why are you guys? You guys obviously have listened to Get a Grip on Lighting. Is that right? Is that why you're on the show?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Well, there are already lighting podcasts in Spanish, uh, but they are like in a totally different. They're focusing in a totally different area. They're really like architectural and really like the showing the poetics of the light. But what I like a lot of Get a Grip, is that you do the hard questions to the people. And I think that for the Spanish language, we need that. We need to do those questions.
That's good. Well, good to hear. So yeah, well, I say we do it. What is the
I would
so what is
also
the
like to
market?
add
Or,
something. Yeah,
sure.
because there are a lot of things happening in Mexico and Latin America, and I think we need to give them a voice because there is a lot beyond the lighting design field. We have also contact with scientists, with astronomers, with the people that cares a lot about dark skies,
Mm.
and we need to have a way to gather all them together and to get people know about all the labor that they are doing. Improve this organization.
Is the worldwide Spanish-speaking community, is there podcasts that everyone listens to, or do people in Mexico listen to Mexican podcasts, and people in Costa Rica listen to Costa Rican podcasts, and in Spain they listen to Spanish podcasts? Is there, or is there a, would Spanish people from around the world gravitate to a one podcast for all of them? Paulina.
That's a really good question. We actually listen to Mexican podcasting. Um, I don't recall knowing about any South American or Central American podcast. There may be one, perhaps, in Argentina and maybe in Chile, but out of that, I don't know of any other. And we do have Mexican podcasts that have already maybe 3-4 years. I think the pandemics made a lot of stuff, and including this podcasting idea became popular while we were in the pandemics.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Paulina, did you have anything to add? Okay.
No, I think I agree. I think the podcasts that are produced here in Mexico are listened in all Latin America. I don't know about Spain, but at least in Latin America.
Nice. And so let's talk a little bit about lighting in Mexico. Is when you hear the shows that we talk about and the issues we have here in, Michael's Canada, I'm United States, are they the same? Are they different? Is there parts of them? Where are you guys at?
They are the same, and maybe they're worse. Let's just mention that, well, we do have American brands here in Mexico, Acuity brands. I don't know, Cooper Lighting. They have a really big presence here. A lot of their products are manufactured here, so also the brands are across the whole country. Um, and we also have like this group of lighting designers located in different cities, different locations around the country too. So yeah, we face pretty similar issues. Just to mention a couple, one maybe the standards. We have Mexican standards that we are supposedly we are supposed to comply, and in most cases it's really a mess to make it because of different fronts. It can be the government, it can be the owner, it can be the seller. I don't know. It's a lot of people involucrated always. And the other part is that hiring a lighting designer is still complicated. It's still a complex thing here in Mexico. So we find that a lot of customers end hiring only like the architect or the engineer or maybe even just the electrical installer. So yeah, I think those are the issues that we mostly face here in Mexico and in Latin America. I don't know, but what do you think?
Paulina? Yeah.
Yes, I agree. The lighting designers are not very known in the medium, and not for governments, architects, and I think it's still something new for people of knowing about this brand that it's a new brand of design, and they are not comfortable paying more for that. So most of the times they go to the manufacturer or to the sales representative, and they just give them the project, and they do whatever they want and give it back to the client, and that's all. We are not involved there. But there are other people in different sectors that they do know about our work as lighting designers and the value of design. Um, in any kind of project, and they look for us, especially when they want to comply with certain requirements about standards, or if they are going to get a certification, or they want to, I don't know, look for a no light trespass or something where they are looking for something more technical. They, of course, they hire someone like us to do the photometric studies and stuff.
That's great. Here's a question that we get to answer on behalf of North America because we're all covered here. You guys got to each think about what percent of your country is LED right now. So, Mike, what percent is Canada? Paulina and Alex, what percent of Mexico is LED? And I'll answer for the U.S. I'm going to guess. We're all guessing. But what do you
So I would
think?
say
Mike, go first.
Ontario is
Not
one of the
Ontario,
most.
Canada, Mike.
I don't know about Canada. I don't know about other provinces. I don't. I can't
Yeah.
say. I would probably say Quebec is probably very low, much lower penetration, and Toronto, Ontario, and especially the Greater Toronto area would be one of the highest places in the world. And the reason for that is one of the major reasons for that is the massive Chinese community that lives in Toronto. We have like 1 million Chinese people,
Wow.
and a lot of them are in the lighting business. So that aids in price. Toronto's among the most competitive markets for LED products as well. So a lot of times the prices you're paying in US dollars, I'm paying in Canadian dollars, Greg, just simply because of how competitive it is in Toronto. What would you
For your
say?
answer.
Yeah, what would you say, Alex, for Mexico?
Well, Mexico is a big country. We have like 130 million people living here, and there are like different places where people is distributed in cities. Let's say in the north, in the center where we are in the south. Where we live, it's not Mexico City. First of all, we live in a smaller city at the north of Mexico City. And here, around 80% of the whole exterior lighting is LED because of progressive politics that the government has been applying. They're not the best politics at all. Um, Lighting is not the best in quality, it's not the best in color temperature, it's not the best in pole locations. But well, it's like a politic that they've been promoting, because here in Mexico we have a law that is trying to make that for 2034, 80% of the whole country's lighting is LED. Why? Because they want to save energy. That's the only and unique reason that you will find they mention.
Do they want to save energy for the right reasons? Like, what's the sometimes when Paulina, when they say they want to I find the lighting industry is a nail that governments hit with the climate change hammer. They can't find anywhere else to save energy or do anything, so they go back to the lighting industry and they hit it with the hammer, and they say, "Give us more energy savings because we can't save gas, oil, propane, or any of these kinds of things." Paulina, is it the same situation in Mexico where they don't have any other ideas of how to save energy, so they keep turning back to lighting and pushing the lighting envelope?
Yeah, I think it is. I think the politicians see lighting as progress, and they keep doing some things around lighting, about exchanging the LEDs, and maybe having some control systems around the street lighting. It's not very common, but you can find some of them. But also, I would like to talk to you about something that is happening in Mexico, and it's about the dark sky law. It's like a new law that started in Baja California because they have a big astronomic place, and they needed to have a very dark sky for observations. And they started to work along the governments to promote the dark sky environment around, in the cities around the observatory. So now they are working to expand this law and to make it a federal law, and to make municipalities and all the states to have a well-directed light with the correct color temperature at the correct height, and well, all the stuff involved in lighting design for the streets, for the cities. And I think it's a good work. Is is going very slow. I think it's a long time goal, but it's something happening here. So I think people are getting aware of the light pollution problems in health, in the ecosystems, and everything, and we are getting somewhere. I think it's slow, but it's happening, and I think this is a great step for us.
Hmm. There's a place in Mexico that I love to travel to. I've been there 4 times now. Is Isla Mujeres off the coast of Cancun. I think that would be an amazing place to make a dark sky preserve. It's small enough and big enough and far enough off the coast. It's a place where I think the Mexican government could really do some spectacular things. As an example, where it's isolated from the mainland, and you could, I don't know, I counted, roughly counted. There's not that many streetlights. There's under 1,000 streetlights on the whole island. So it's something that could be addressed fairly quickly. And as an example, and you'd have beautiful, absolutely beautiful starry skies on the island. But you're saying they're starting in Baja California, which is that piece that's on the side of Mexico, south of California. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And we also have a lot of places that where we can take advantage of these dark skies. And some of them are getting certifications for dark skies, and it means that they are doing something with their local governments to promote this healthy lighting design in the streets, to maintain all these starry nights in these, especially in parks, in reserves that are all around the country.
Hmm.
Have you guys designed any projects yourselves that were needing to be dark sky, or proposed, or talked to anybody about?
Well, that's a really good question. Uh, Short answer is yes. Yeah, I started in the industry working mostly on industrial projects. Here in the city where we live, it's called Querétaro. You are welcome whenever you want. It's also a beautiful city, I might add. But it's a really industrial city too. We have here like a lot of car manufacturers and also aerospace manufacturing companies. So it has really grown a lot in that sense. And I started working on industrial projects of that kind. Um, and new for us, they were of course countries. I mean, companies from the outside of Mexico that were coming here, and they had like different perspectives and different standards to be met. So my first approach to, let's say, reduce light pollution was in lead projects. So we were able to do, along with Paulina, maybe 3, 4 lead projects that meet the light pollution reduction credits. It was it was hard because in one time we didn't know, or we didn't thought that this was a pollution.
Mm.
When we were kids, we thought that we saw that big glow, that big glare, and we thought that that was good. That was a synonym of progress
Sure.
until we ended on this profession. We found that that wasn't good at all. So even, let's say, even manufacturers and even lead um, representatives, or I don't know how you call them, lead associates, thought that it was not a good idea to follow the light pollution reduction credits because it was like just one credit and it was really difficult to meet it. So let's focus on other credits so we can achieve the lead certification. And somehow we were so happy to work on them that we ended up meeting them. So, well, yeah, I may say that those were like our first experiences trying to reduce the light pollution.
Well, I would like to add another project that is of huge relevance in preserving the dark skies. And it happened recently, I think last year. and they were certifying the first urban park in Mexico for a dark sky observation. So we haven't done anything in terms of lighting design because there is no lighting design there. There is no
Mm.
electricity in this park, but there are projects because one of the things that they need to meet is about education and tourism and well and other stuff. So they want to build some cabins or tents. I remember so people can stay there and observe all these starry skies. And we are going to be involved in that lighting design. But it was a huge effort to get this certification because it took a lot of time for astronaut. Astronaut was the one who brought this certification for this park in Joya La Barreta in Querétaro. And it meant that they had to collaborate with the community around this park and also with the government and the policies and everything involved to meet this. And it was nice.
Important to mention, this park is like, I don't know, we use the metric system, like 20 kilometers far from the closest city. So you can see the sky glow. It's not a full dark sky park. It is a dark sky park that shows you that there's a part polluted and that we have to stop it there so we can still see the dark sky on this park. Um, so yeah, I think that's the most recent project that we have collaborated. We only have collaborated like in the part of education on this, like sharing with our students and with all the people that we can find, and also helping like doing these ephemeral lighting installations that we have to take care a lot of the how much light we are doing with them, and what is the wavelength that we're using for those lights, because it's just for a moment, it's just to promote, like, let's say people come in maybe a tourist manner, and you are a tourist, you come there, and now you see that you have to learn a lot about how light is affecting these cities.
I have two more questions for you guys. The first one is I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but does the lighting industry in Mexico work the same way as it does in North America, where you have manufacturers or importers, and then agents and specifiers and distributors, and then contractors? Does it work like that flow? Does it work the same way? Alex?
It is the same way.
It's
Yes.
the same way. And so there's like places, in every city that are electrical or lighting distributors where people can go and buy light bulbs and fixtures and this kind of thing. And then there's people that sell to those people. Is there a lot of cross border? So do Mexican distributors, do they buy and import lamps from the United States, or are they already imported directly from China to Mexico?
Oof, that's a hard question. Um, well, we manufacture here some products like, I'm going to say a brand, Acuity Brands manufacturers in
Mm-hmm.
Monterrey.
Yes.
They the product goes back to the United States to be labeled, and it comes back to Mexico. That's like one case. Another case are Mexican lighting brands. We do have brands of LED lighting, interior and exterior, here in Mexico that are manufactured here. And the China case is a bit complex because we do have a lot of, let's say, non non standard meeting products here that came illegally. So we also have like our West Coast and our East Coast. From the West Coast, we receive a lot of products from China, really big containers that have any kind of products, including lighting products, and some of them finally pass the filters and come inside the country, and they are like sold here. So we have all these cases, legal, illegally, and local manufacturer, U.S. manufacturer, and China manufacturer here.
Sounds complicated. Paulina, do you guys have a Mexican equivalent of the IES or of the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors? Do you have Spanish trade associations, or do you just adopt the IES standards and translate them into Spanish?
No, I think it's the second one. I don't think we have an Spanish association, but we do work with IES or EALD and we adopt them all the policies. And I think it's a bit difficult because it's not adapted to the Mexican market. So some things are not very functional here in Mexico that could be maybe in other parts of the world. No, but we have other kind of associations. For example, Alex and I are part of CODEFI. CODEFI is a group of people that are interested in preserving the dark skies. So in this group, we have lighting designers, we have astronomers, biologists, people who are working with turtles, with fireflies, with the skies. Well, it's a very diverse group, and it's not only for Mexico but also from Latin America. We have people from Argentina, from Chile, from Costa Rica, from all over. I think even from Spain. So I think this is one of the groups that are from Mexico that we do have here.
And
Just to complement what, sorry, Mike.
that's okay. You
Just to
go.
complement what Paulina said, we do have an IES chapter here in Mexico.
Ah,
We have two
okay.
chapters, one in Monterrey and one in Mexico City are the only two chapters that we have. Um, I do, I'm a member of the IES Mexico, actually. But yes, we adopt all the international documents that the IES has been doing. We use those. We haven't like produced a specific document, new document for the Spanish-speaking market, let's say. Um, Also, the IALD, I think
Hmm.
that's international.
Association of
I'm just
Lighting
going to
Designers.
mess around.
The
You
International
got it right.
Association of Lighting Designers. Yeah.
We already have a chapter of that here in Mexico, and it's really small because it's like starting yet. Most of Mexican lighting designers are concentrated in Mexico City. Other
Mm.
big cities like Monterrey, like I mentioned, or Guadalajara, which are the three largest cities, Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Monterrey, largest cities here in Mexico. It's complicated to find lighting designers like on those cities. Most of the market, most of the design industry, it's concentrated on Mexico City.
Well, Greg, before we say goodbye to Paulina and Alex, we got to remind everyone quickly that Jack Chain is for jackasses. You got to go to griplocksystem.com. Paulina, do you have any final thoughts before we close the show?
Um, Yes, I think this part of the dark sky preservation, there is a lot of happening everywhere. So, well, I would like to give voice to some of the projects going on here
Sure.
because I think it's important to let them know. For example, we're working a lot. Well, not myself in person, but in Mexico, we're working a lot about this new law regarding dark skies, and it's looking to be federal. As I mentioned before, we are also having contact with people, for example, in Argentina, like that 2 weeks ago they have an amazing congress where they invited a lot of speakers to talk about light pollution in different areas, not only in lighting design, but also in biology, in astronomy, in all of that kind of fields. And also, I have an interesting example that is happening here in Mexico. That there is a place, I don't remember the name of this town, where people organize themselves in this city to turn off the lights because they are very close to a firefly sanctuary. So they didn't have support from the government, but they understood the importance of getting these dark skies for the benefits of the fireflies that they turn off the light for 3-4 months during this stage. And it's amazing because now they are looking for government support because it's working. And of course, we also have this event that we do once a year to promote this experience about lighting that is called Dispersion, that we do on May in the International Day of Light. And we invite students to talk about light and to talk about responsible lighting. And well, that's all I want to say, that we need to give voice to all of these projects that are happening here in Mexico and Latin America.
So, Alex, before you start Get a Grip on Lighting on Español, what are your final thoughts here on the English version of Get a Grip on Lighting?
Well, I followed you guys from years ago. I
Thank
think
you.
you are really a referent on this way to get a grip on lighting, ironically.
Mm.
So I'm not trying to finish good with you guys. I really mean it.
Mm.
Well, as you see, we focus a lot on light pollution reduction. We really wanted to talk about what's going on here in Latin America because we thought it was a good moment to give it a
Mm.
voice.
Mm.
Maybe as you guys, we just had elections this year and everything is changing again. All our president, our governors, our senate, everything is changing this year, and this means also a change to all the next politics and to all the hard work that some of the people, not only in the lighting industry, but in maybe in the biology industry, in the medical industry, and also in the astronomy industry here in the region, are doing. And that I think it's once again like just the right moment to give it a voice. So that's why we wanted to tell you about that today.
Well, we appreciate you guys, Greg. And remember, Jack Chain is for losers. Go to griplocksystems.com. That's
These are grip
GRIP
lock systems.
SYSTEMS.com. Greg Eric.
That's right. Well, you should, and if you don't, you do, because I've always done it that way. It's a lot easier. Toolless adjustability. You don't have to cut the chain or anything. You can move it up time you want, as much as you want. Grip lock.
And the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. That's right. Go to naild.org. We're getting together August 19th to 25th. I think there's still room too, Greg Eric. You can still sign up.
There is. Sign up.
So go to
Let's go.
nailedcon.com. No, naild.org is the URL for that. And of course, Paulina Medina and Alex Carrillo Romano of Wawa Lighting. Go to wawa.lighting to check them out. Thank you all out there for listening. Bye for now.